As time goes on, I find myself believing more and more in the conspiracy theory that Florida was created as an experiment by the devil to house the dumbest people humanity had to offer. Maybe as a joke, maybe just as a science experiment, I couldn't really tell you. But coronavirus has really shown me just how fucking dumb this state is. We're getting upwards of 10,000 new cases a day, still climbing, and we're still hitting those fucking beaches, baby. The people that make up the population of Florida don't even feel like sentient human beings anymore. They feel like the product of a mad science experiment where somebody fucking Frankensteined the brain of a gopher into the body of a sunburnt drug addict. And much like the gopher, they're afraid of their own shadow, if that shadow was common sense. But luckily, there's one superhero among us, one Florida man in particular, that's become so powerful that he was able to scare away death itself this weekend.
And it was quite a scare. Lawyer Daniel Ohlfelder dressed as the Grim Reaper in an attempt to alert Floridians of the dangers of reopening the economy too soon. He believes opening the state's beaches right now is a mistake and will endanger lives as the community continues to battle COVID-19.
You know your state is fucked when you're actually rooting for the Grim Reaper here. So this guy cosplaying as the Grim Reaper had enough sense to recognize that immediately reopening the beaches as a way of celebrating coronavirus or whatever the fuck we opened them for is just a stupid idea and dangerous. So he dresses as the Grim Reaper as just a way to peaceful protest. And he's self-aware, he knows it's goofy, he's just having fun with his protest and letting people know the danger of it. And he's been doing this for a little while, but unfortunately, he did this on the 4th of July and came toe-to-toe with the Thanos of Florida men.
Biden and Hunter went over to China.
Well, let me get this straight. Okay, Hunter
They
Biden,
brought it back.
after we went to...
This is what, no, you know, this is weaponized.
So Alex Jones here is hitting the Grim Reaper with some fucking facts right now, talking about weaponized coronavirus created by the reptilians and Joe Biden and his son, going into interdimensional time-traveling pedophile vampires from the 11th realm, shit like that. You know, pretty standard Florida logic for the most part, and they get to engage in a little back and forth so that way the Grim Reaper can get educated.
So Hunter Biden and Joe Biden went to China, and did they create the virus, or did they?
No, they didn't create it.
What did they do?
They brought it back here.
Oh, so they put it in like a tube and brought it back, or?
No, not in a tube.
Okay, how did they do it? They got it themselves and then injected it in somebody?
No.
I can literally smell the Miller Lite on this guy. He loves his Miller Lite so much that his body shape is starting to transform itself to resemble Miller Lite. If this guy gave blood, the recipient would feel their IQ drop by 50 points and they'd develop a crippling addiction to conspiracy theories.
Okay, so Hunter Biden, and then Joe...
This is the Democratic Party trying
It's a
to overthrow Donald Trump.
Okay, where did you learn that?
Just by being alive. I'm 63 years old.
Okay, I do a safe distance.
Okay, now-
Well, you can't argue with that. I mean, the science checks out. He learned it because he's alive. So, I mean, that's enough for me. I don't even need to take that with a grain of salt. I mean, he's 63 years old. You heard him. At 63 years old, he understands everything. So, that at least gives me some solace knowing he at least knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, I have social distance.
wait.
No, I'm just doing 6 feet. No, I'm not scared of you, but
There's no way in hell I want to fly on you.
no way you're going to what?
There's no way in hell I want to fly on you.
Oh, no, I'm just trying to keep safe. So, all right, well, cool. That's a new one. Yeah, I've heard...
Totally. Let's leave this way.
I actually don't really know what he said. There's no way I want to fly on you. I don't know if that's his attempt at flirting or not that he learned on AOL. I'm not positive, but it made the conversation a little weird where even the Grim Reaper felt uncomfortable and then he just kind of brushed it off and then they settled the score right there. Or at least that's what you think, but this guy is relentless. He says, you know what, I can smell the fear in the Grim Reaper, and he fucking pounces on it. He chases him down.
Please, this guy. I would ask that you please stay 6 feet from me.
Stay away from this Ray Baton motherfucker.
I'd
Stay
ask...
away from him. Stay away from him.
Again, a little confused on what he's saying right here. Stay away from this Rayman motherfucker. I don't know if he's talking about like the Rayman Nintendo 64 games or what. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it is getting serious because now he's brought out his finger and he's pointing at him right now. He's got that old Karen, where's your manager finger, waving his finger around like a magic wand. So you know things have now been escalated.
This is a race baiter. This is a fucking race
At this
baiter.
point, you just stay away, okay? Or I'm going to call the police. I will call the police.
Go ahead.
I'd like to get...
Go ahead down now. Go ahead down now.
You're publicly intoxicated, that's clear.
This man is so unbelievably powerful that he's able to scare the Grim Reaper enough to threaten the police. That is impressive. And then you also have the beach's security guard here. I'm not quite sure, but he's dressed like he means business. This looks like a secret agent on his day off here. And he's trying to get in the middle of it and stop it, but even he's no match for the all-powerful old drunk Willie.
Public intoxication is a crime. It's a felony, so you're publicly intoxicated and you're...
Bait. Stay away from this way, bait, motherfucker. Right here. Stay away from him. Stay away from him.
I can really appreciate that he actually has both of his fingers pointing just in case he needed a dual-wield pointer fingers at this man right here. He's got both fingers locked and loaded, and I can appreciate that. He's only using one right now, but he has the looming threat of his other finger, which is pointed at the ground right now, showing a little bit of mercy. But if things pop off, I have no doubt he's going to be real quick to draw on that pointer finger and have both of them pointing at the Grim Reaper, and then what? Then what are you going to do? There's no counterplay, there's no defense against that.
Stay away. You ain't shit.
This is all I could find from this interaction between these two, and as you could see, the Grim Reaper was thoroughly overwhelmed by the power of the Florida man, a being so unbelievably powerful that not even death itself could stop him in his rampage. I think this is probably the most Florida clip that has ever existed. I didn't need to tell you this is from Florida. You would immediately guess that this happened in Florida. This is just something that's so specific to Florida. Like, this is basically its entire legacy. Like, this is basically what you think of when you think of Florida. And how wonderful is that? That's about it. See ya.